Друзья, привет! Hi! Приветствую вас на канале English Galaxy. Мы с вами продолжаем изучение английского языка для среднего уровня. И данный урок действительно очень интенсивный. Обязательно смотрите весь плейлист. И подписывайтесь на наш второй канал English Professional. Все ссылочки в описании. И действительно темы смотрите. The third conditional, третье условное наклонение. Также I wish, if only, and it's time, in the past. В прошедшем времени. Okay, so let's look at some examples. Давайте с вами посмотрим на некоторые примеры. And I hope they will help you understand, this subject much better. Okay, are you ready? So I hope so. So let's look at this example. Если бы я подготовился к тесту, то есть, если бы я подготовился к тесту, я бы сдал его намного лучше. Если это нереальное, unreal in the past, so if it's unreal in the past, we have to use this structure. Нам нужно использовать данную структуру if plus past perfect плюс past perfect, if plus past perfect, and then, so we have, если бы я подготовился к экзамену лучше, if I past perfect. So what is past perfect? It's had плюс третья форма глагола had. So третья форма глагола на английском языке это past participle. Past participle. Yeah, past participle. Okay, so if I had prepared, третья форма от prepare это prepared, такая же, как и вторая, это правильный глагол prepared. If I had prepared for the exam better, я бы сдал. And then we use would have plus past participle. Would have и третья форма глагола. Смотрите, would have plus past participle. Я бы сдал. I would have passed, это сдавать. I would have passed the exam. So we have, if I had prepared for the exam better, I would have passed the exam. То есть would have, it means я бы там что-то сделал в прошедшем времени. So please remember this very important rule. If plus past perfect and then would have plus past participle. Past perfect means had plus past participle. So we have to use, мы должны использовать, we have to use past participle in both clauses. В обоих частях предложения in both clauses. Okay, sometimes we can use could. Could means мог бы. Please compare these sentences. Compare. Сравните эти предложения. Compare these sentences. So, you see, if I had prepared for the exam better, I would have passed the exam. And let's look at the second one. So, if I had prepared for the exam better, I could have passed the exam. Я мог бы сдать экзамен. So, would have означает я бы сдал. I would have passed the exam. Could have означает мог бы. I could have passed the exam. Okay, so let's revise everything. I think that you can see very interesting examples. So, unreal in the past, if plus past perfect, and then would or could have plus past participle. It means if plus had plus past participle. Okay, please compare these sentences. So, you'll see would and could. So, if I had prepared for the exam, had plus past participle it's prepared. If I had prepared for the exam, I would have, and then we see past participle again. So, past, I would have passed the exam. Yeah, or if I had prepared for the exam, actually the same thing, but we see the difference in the second clause. So, I could have passed the exam. Я мог бы сдать экзамен, but in fact, в действительности, I didn't do it. Я это не сделал. I didn't do it. Okay, let's look at some more examples. Посмотрим еще некоторые другие примеры. Okay, если бы я пошел туда, if I Значит, had и третья форма от go, gone. If I had gone there, я бы встретил ее. I would have и третья форма от meet это met. I would have met her. Or we can say, if I had gone there, я мог бы встретить ее. I could have met her. I could have met her. Okay, next. So let's look at the next example. So if если бы я занимался спортом более интенсивно, if I had, далее заниматься спортом, say, practice sport, if I had practiced sport, if I had practiced sport more intensively, более интенсивно, more intensively, я бы, можно сказать, я бы, не знаю, там, был бы в более хорошей форме тогда. I would have, значит, быть в хорошей форме, это be in a good shape. I would have been in a better shape. In a better shape. Я был бы в лучшей форме тогда. И я мог бы выиграть бы, например, в том чемпионате. And I, продолжаем. So, yeah, it's one more example because we have one more structure. And I could have, я мог бы, and I could have win 1-1 в том чемпионате. In that championship. And I could have won in that championship. And I could have won in that championship. So, you see that we studied modal verbs, could have, yeah. Actually, that's it. На самом деле так. And I could have won in that championship. So, if I had practiced sport more intensely, I would have been in a better shape and I could have won in that championship. But, maybe it's a pity, but I didn't win. Okay, next. So, если бы я нашел твой канал намного раньше, if I, далее had, find, находить, третья форма found, if I had found English Galaxy или просто English Galaxy, or the channel English Galaxy, or we can say the channel English Galaxy, or English Galaxy, if I had found English Galaxy earlier, мой уровень мог бы стать, например, advanced в прошлом месяце. My level, далее мог бы это could have become advanced last month. Okay, so if I had found English Galaxy earlier, my level could have become advanced last month. Okay, so we have advanced or maybe upper intermediate. If I had gone there, I would have met her. If I had gone there, I could have met her. If I had practiced sport more intensively, I would have been in a better shape and I could have won in the championship. If I had found English Galaxy earlier, my level could have become advanced last month. Okay, next. Если бы я поступил бы в другой университет, if I, значит, поступать в университет это enter university or get into university. So if I had got into another university, я бы ее никогда не встретил. Значит, у нас, помните, было would have, плюс третья форма. Также можно сказать и в отрицании. I would have never met her. Или просто I wouldn't. Okay. I would have never. It sounds better. I would have never met her. Я бы ее никогда не встретил. I would have never met her. Я бы ее никогда не встретил. If I had got into another university, I would have never met her. Я бы ее никогда не встретил. For example, если бы я не принял то предложение, если видите уже отрицание в первой части, if I hadn't, можно сказать, we say take an offer, if I haven't taken that offer, если бы я не принял то предложение, я бы, I wouldn't I wouldn't have, я бы не. I wouldn't have, я бы не получал бы ту должность. I wouldn't have got, там, ту позицию. I wouldn't have got that job position. Job position. If I hadn't taken that offer, I wouldn't have got that job position. Okay, next. Если бы я не послушал его, if I hadn't listened to him, я бы попал бы в беду. I would have, и третья форма, get into trouble, so get, got, I would have got into trouble. I would have got into trouble. If I hadn't listened to him, I would have got into trouble. So, если бы я последовал твоего совета, if I had followed your advice, if I had followed your advice, эта вещь бы не случилась. This thing, опять же, would have плюс третья форма, из отрицания wouldn't have happened, this thing wouldn't have happened. If I had followed your advice, this thing wouldn't have happened. Okay, next. Если бы я, if I had, если бы я знал это заранее, if I had known it, вспоминаем, как будет заранее, if I had known it beforehand, я мог бы избежать многих проблем. I could have, далее третья форма, avoid это избегать, I could have avoided many problems. I could have avoided many problems. So we have, if I had got into another university, I would have never met her. If I hadn't taken that offer, I wouldn't have got that job position. If I hadn't listened to him, I would have got into trouble. If I had followed your advice, this thing wouldn't have happened. So, or, if I had followed your advice, one more example, we'll look at one more example, but first let's look at this sentence. If I had known it beforehand, I could have avoided many problems. Okay, so the next one is 13. So if I had followed your advice, this thing would have never happened. Никогда бы не произошло. This thing would have never happened. Would have never happened. Okay, next. So what is next? So if I, если бы я занимался английским более интенсивно, if I had learned English more intensively, более бы интенсивно, и можно подумать вообще, какие различные вариации можно быть. Я бы, например, intensively, я бы получил ту работу. I would have got. I would have got that job. Я бы получил ту работу. I would have got that job. Or if I had learned English more intensively, например, I would, если бы я занимался английским более интенсивно, я бы достиг более высокого уровня в английском намного раньше. I would have reached a higher English level. Much earlier. Okay, so if I had learned English more intensely, I would have reached a high English level much earlier. And one more example. Let's look at one more example with this structure, and then we'll go on. Мы будем с вами продолжать. So if, например, можно говорить не I там, если бы они мне об этом сказали, if they had told me about that, я бы стал бы очень разочарован. I would have become очень разочарован. Very разочарован это слово disappointed. I would have become very disappointed. So if they had told me about that, I would have become very disappointed. So if I had followed your advice, this thing would have never happened. If I had learned English more intensively, I would have got that job. If I had learned English more intensively, I would have reached a higher English level much earlier. If they had told me about that, I would have become very disappointed. Okay, so next. But we have other structures. I wish, yeah. So you remember that if we talk about the present, yeah, about the present time, we say I wish plus past simple. For example, I wish, let's remember this example, I wish I were a millionaire. I wish I were a millionaire. It means that I want to be a millionaire, but I'm not a millionaire, just my wish. It's my dream, maybe a very big desire, очень большое желание. So it's unreal in present, в настоящем, in present, or yeah, in present. And talking about the past, so if you want you know, to express your regret, сожаление, or wishes, you know, about the past, you have to use another structure, and this structure is more difficult, I would say. I wish, then subject, for example, I plus past participle, or not, plus past perfect, plus past perfect. So in other words, we have this structure, so it can be I or another subject, you know, it depends. Вы знаете, что это зависит. So I wish, I, and then past perfect means that you have to use had plus past participle. Past participle, yeah. Actually, it's quite easy. So I wish, я там желаю, чтобы там, и говорит, что там желаю. То есть я хотел бы, чтобы я тогда получил эту работу. I wish I had got that job. Чтобы я получил эту работу. But I didn't get it. Но я ее не получил. It's just my wish. And compare these sentences. Compare this sentence. So 18. I wish I had this job. For example, I wish I had this job. It means я желаю, чтобы у меня была сейчас эта работа. It means now. Or and I wish, я желаю, чтобы у меня тогда была эта работа, та работа. I wish I had that job. Yeah, it's okay when we use had. Or, you know, I think that this sentence sounds better. I wish I had got that job. Я желаю, чтобы я получил ту работу. So really, so it's about the past. It's about the past. It's about the past, yeah. So, past tense. I wish I had the job means now, and I wish I had the job. Yeah, so you're dreaming maybe about the past. I wish I had got the job. Yeah, I wish, one more, let me give you one more example. I wish, например, я желаю, чтобы я никогда его не встречал. I wish I had never... I wish я желаю, чтобы я его не встречал. I wish I hadn't met him. I wish I hadn't met him. I wish I hadn't met him. Or it can be, or on the contrary. Very nice phrase. On the contrary. Там означает, it means, so, наоборот, on the contrary. Я желаю, чтобы я встретил ее намного раньше. I wish I had met her. I had met her much earlier. Я бы встретил ее намного раньше. I wish I had met her much earlier. Okay, so we have I wish I were a millionaire, so unreal in present. And talking about the past, we have to use another structure. And you can see the structure is I wish plus past perfect. In other words, past perfect means had plus past participle. So 18. I wish I had this job. Talking about now, you can use the structure, and then I wish I had that job. So, you know, we are talking about the past. Or, you know, I wish I had got that job. So there is a phrase, a very nice phrase, get a job. Okay, two more examples which we have, or which we see. I wish I hadn't met him. Or on the contrary, yeah, I wish I had met him much earlier. Yeah, nice, very nice. Okay, so very nice. You know, we have two more structures. If only. Yeah, if only. If you're talking about the present, you use past simple. If only, если я бы только знал это. If only I knew it. If only I knew it. If only plus past simple. But you talk about the present. So you talk about the present. Or you talk about the present when you use the structure, or you're talking about the present because it's now. So let's write you are talking about the present. You're talking about the present. If you want to say it in the past, for example, если бы я только знал это вчера, use another structure. Вы используете другую структуру. If only, then you have to use a subject and past perfect. Past perfect. So if only, если бы я только знал это вчера, if only I had known it. If only I had known it yesterday. If only I had known it yesterday. Если бы я только знал это вчера. If only I had known it yesterday. If only I had known it yesterday. Там, если бы только она сказала мне правду, то есть там вчера, so maybe last month or so. If only she, она, had, третья форма от tell, это told. If only she had told me the truth. If only she had told me the truth. Там, или если бы только она мне не солгала. If only she hadn't, там, tell a lie, точнее, told a lie. If only she hadn't told a lie. If only she hadn't told a lie. Tell a lie такое выражение. You should remember it. Запомнить. Окей, if only, если бы только. If only. Там, если бы только они послушали меня. If only they had listened to me. If only they had listened to me. And you see one more structure. It's time. То есть давно уже пора. Там, значит, пора тебе уже изучать английский более интенсивно. It's time, например, you. Далее и past simple. Помните, в прошлый урок, смотрите прошлый урок. Мы все это проходили. Ну, обязательно смотрите весь плейлист. It's time you studied English. It's time you studied English. Более интенсивно. More intensively. More intensively. It's time you studied English more intensively. Or it's high time. Давно уже пора. It's high time. It's high time. Давно уже пора. It's time пора. It's a high time means давно уже пора, чтобы ты изучал английский более интенсивно. It's high time you studied English more intensively. Yeah, but you know, you talk about the present, but you can talk about the past. Давно уже пора. It's high time. It's high time. Давно уже пора, чтобы он отклонил то предложение. То есть ему нужно было, чтобы он отклонил то предложение. It's high time. She. Там он, это he. Значит, есть такая фраза в глагол turn down an offer. It's high time he had turned down that offer. То есть ему нужно было, другими словами, отклонить именно тогда, не только сейчас, not only now, but it's in the past. It's high time he had turned down that offer. То есть давно уже пора, чтобы он тогда отклонил то предложение. There is a small difference. Actually, to sum up, подводя итог, to sum up, we can say that all these structures, все эти структуры are quite common, достаточно частые. The third conditional, I wish, if only, and it's time. And really, I wish. Я, честно говоря, I'd like to be sincere. Я хотел бы быть откровенным. I'd like to be sincere. Or I'd like to be frank. Or I'd like to be honest with you. Я хотел бы быть честен по отношению к вам. I'd like to be honest. I'd like to be honest with you, and I want to say the following. Я хочу сказать следующее. And I want to say the following. I wish, я желаю, I wish you had learned all the structures much earlier. They're extremely useful. Они действительно очень полезны. I wish you had learned these structures, эти структуры, these structures much earlier. I wish you had learned these structures in such a detailed way, в таком подробном earlier, so in such a detailed way, таким подробным образом, in such a detailed way, or with such detailed explanations, такими подробными объяснениями, with such detailed explanations, and многочисленными numerous examples, much earlier. Okay, I wish you had learned these structures in such a detailed way, or with, such detailed, такими, да, or with such detailed explanations and numerous examples much earlier. And I'll be really happy if you say, я действительно желаю, я хотел бы, чтобы я нашел твой канал намного раньше. I wish I had found your channel much earlier. I wish I had found your channel much earlier. Но некоторые так занимаются не просто на канале, поэтому некоторые, думаю, могут или просто сказать I wish I had met you. I wish I had met you much earlier. And really, I wish you had found this channel much earlier, and I wish you had found these very useful materials much earlier. Okay, so let's revise everything. This revision is very important. Okay, really, let's get back to the beginning. Very useful structures for upper intermediate and, really, intermediate and upper intermediate level. So, unreal in the past, if plus past perfect, and then would, could have plus past participle, if plus had plus past participle. So, in other words, please compare the sentences. If I had prepared for the exam better, I would have passed the exam. And if I had prepared for the exam better, I could have passed the exam. Next, if I had gone there, I would have met her. If I had gone there, I could have met her. If I had practiced sport more intensively, I would have been in a better shape, and I could have won in that championship. If I had found English Galaxy earlier, my level could have become advanced last month, for example. If I had got into another university, I would have never met her. If I hadn't taken that offer, I wouldn't have got that job position. If I hadn't listened to him, I would have got into trouble. Really. Or I could have got into trouble. If I had followed your advice, this thing wouldn't have happened. If I had known it beforehand, I could have avoided many problems. If I had followed your advice, this thing would have never happened. If I had learned English more intensively, I would have got that job. If I had learned English more intensively, I would have reached a higher English level much earlier. If they had told me about that, I would have become very disappointed. I wish I were a millionaire, unreal in present. So, and I wish I plus past perfect and wish, for example, I plus had plus past participle. I wish I had this job, it means now. I wish I had had that job. So we're talking about the past, or I wish I had got the job. So we're talking about the past again. I wish I hadn't met him, or on the contrary, I wish I had met her much earlier. I wish I had met him much earlier. Next, if only I knew it. So you're talking about the present. If only, then I, for example, and past perfect. If only I had known it yesterday. If only she had told me. If only she had told me the truth. If only she had told me the truth. If only she hadn't told a lie. If only they had listened to me. It's time you studied English more intensely, or it's high time you studied English more intensely. It's high time he had turned down that offer. Okay, next. I'd like to be sincere, I'd like to be frank, I'd like to be honest with you. I wish you had learned these structures in such a detailed way, or with such detailed explanations and numerous examples much earlier. I wish I had found your channel much earlier. Yeah, I think you can say the following. Or you can write the following in the comments. I wish I had found your channel much earlier. I wish I had met you much earlier. Okay, thanks a lot. See you. Bye.